Who wrote this? Are we filming?
Celine Dion. I don't know.
All right, guys. Today we're talking about destiny swappers. And we're talking about this in the context of the destiny swap that's happening within the business world on social media. Okay? So, on today's episode, we are going to be diving into the Leila Hormozi, Alex Hormozi investigation that I've been doing into their backers. So, let me be clear. I do not care if Leila Hormozi is a man or not. What I care about is that that person is backed by BlackRock. What I care about is that that person, that woman, as she claims to be, is stealing our destiny as women who are mothers, who are married, who are investing our last $5,000, our last $10,000 into our businesses. And she's out here representing us. No, darling, she's destiny swapping with us. Yes. Okay. So I want to give credit to Dr. D. Evans, who I've heard the concept of destiny swapping a lot over the years. And we're gonna talk Chris. Chris is in the what is this called? The green room, the control booth. And I might be tapping in with Chris to Google some things from some media that you might be familiar with, because this isn't a joke. This is very serious when we talk about destiny swappers. And you know, I was fortunate enough on the way over here to start looking into what that means, because I've heard it and I was feeling this energy from Leila Hormozi, especially after I posted, and I could share maybe here some of the comment section that said that I was trying to look like Leila Hormozi. I was trying to look like her. Okay. Meantime, if she's a man or a woman, she's the one who had a face transplant. Okay, and if we're going to look at pictures of before and after, this is me in 2019. This is my headshot in 2019, and this is her in 2019. This woman has gone so far, and I'm not saying she's been stalking me, but you just don't understand, guys and girls, how powerful you really are. And if you do not see yourself the way I was, and I did not see myself as powerful as I was for many years, and even now I still question my power. And that's why I got baptized, and that's why I'm so powerful in Christ, because Christ is the ultimate magician. And these people play in demonic. They play in the demonic. So if we're looking at who's trying to look like who, this woman went as far as to get dimples when she got her face transplant. I was born with dimples. You can see it in my childhood photos. I was born with dimples. So you guys commenting that I'm trying to look like her, this is destiny swapping. This is spiritual. You can't identify what a naturally beautiful woman looks like versus a woman. Again, I don't know if look, you want me to dive in? You want me to do a Candace Owens and start delving in to see if she is in fact a woman or not? We can go there. You let me know. That's less of my concern, but we can find out. We can certainly find out. But you guys are not understanding that BlackRock, these organizations are deeply, heavily into the mystical. Honey, you do realize the devil is real, right? And some people are on his team. This is not a joke. This is not a silly little, oh, I believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian fitness coach. I'm a Christian this. Then, babe, if you're a Christian, babe, you need to understand that you're on Jesus's team and there are people on the devil's team. Yes. And they're playing with mystics, root workers, Santeria. Okay? This is not a joke. To the extent where a person like a Leila Hormozi, who we have the evidence that the people who bought Gym Launch are backed directly by BlackRock. We have that paperwork right back to BlackRock. This is not a question of whether it's a man or woman. This is a yes, they are backed by BlackRock, who, yes, participates in dark demon worship stuff. How about this weekend being Justin Bieber's weekend? How many of you remember I was just at lunch and I had a very interesting lunch. I don't want to name names, but I was just at lunch. And during the pandemic, Justin Bieber came out and said that him and Selena Gomez's baby was sacrificed to the devil. And he said that at his church. Y'all aren't clocking it. This is a real life. You guys are not clocking how serious this is. And I'm about had it with you because this is your soul and this is my soul. And when God puts an anointing upon you, you better go ahead and work your anointing. Sweetie, yes, darling. And when you have a person like the Hormozi, the Leila Hormozi, who you're the ones who said, I was trying to look like her. So you did this. Okay? Meantime, I've been a real life woman, mother, business owner, the whole shebang. And just because a person doesn't follow you, just because a person doesn't like your comments or doesn't like your post, doesn't mean they're not following you very closely. And there's ways that collectively, root workers, loosh harvesters, yes, loosh harvesters can pull a collective together and steal your destiny and swap your freaking destiny. Okay? And when you do not stand firm 10 toes and rebuke it, and that's what this is about. I have tussled and rustled and fought and got down and dirty with a lot of different people in this lifetime. I've been friends with the best and the biggest because I am the best at what I do. And I have an essence and a light that comes from God, not from the demonic, not from a seance, not from a black rock ritual, selling souls, writing out contracts, giving up firstborn children. That's not where this comes from. And you're wait, Chris. There's every generation has a writer. What's the spell in Harry Potter that makes you confused? What is that called? And they go and they're like Confucius or what is that one called? Obliviate. There's another one, confundus. Let's see if we can't find that. This is all being given to us. What's the context of where they say that in Harry Potter? Okay, so the confundus charm, it confuses you. You said oblivion charm. Obliviate. Every generation we are given a wisdom keeper who comes in, and I believe my theories, now this is theories and this is from fasting and prayer. Every generation is given a wisdom keeper. So we had J.R. Tolkien. He was the one who told us about Lord of the Rings. That is historical. Okay, that's a true story. Just like the national animal for Scotland is a unicorn, because unicorns did exist. Okay, and every generation, they have a warlock or a witch. J.R. Tolkien, Steven Spielberg, and who's my guy, George Lucas? He's a warlock. Steven Spielberg is a warlock. Tom Hanks, a warlock. Okay, and J.R. Tolkien, what's her J.R. Rowling? Harry Potter. I put Chris on the spot. J.K. Rowling. And again, I don't have evidence to this, but I suspect that these people are high-level wisdom keepers in the warlock and witches world, and they are supposed to give us enough information so we think that this stuff is fake. So then they can utilize their spell work and their root work, and it's easier for them to do root work and spell work against us. and they just put a name. They say, oh, it's corporate. It's corporate. It's corporate. Bro, corporate, go back down to who owns this corporate. This corporate is warlocks and witches. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm not trying to destroy anyone or hurt anyone. I'm just letting you guys know that you really are going to have to choose if you want to be part of the warlocks and witchcraft or you want to be part of God's kingdom. Because these are two completely different armies. Yes. And those of you who pretend like this stuff doesn't exist and you go, la, 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 don't want to hear it, la, 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 shut up. Stop saying that. You're mean. You're the most susceptible to damage. Those of you who refuse to acknowledge that this is real because that's fake, Ginger. No, bro. Narwhals are real. Unicorns are real. Witches and warlocks are real. Some people use dark energy and harvest from us. Some people like Leila and Alex Hormozi. And I've been studying and tracking this back. Why have I cared? Why do I care? Why do I have a dog in this fight? The most beautiful thing I've ever done is give birth to my 3 children. Hands down, the most magical, magnificent, important work that I've ever done is to become a mother. And when you have people trying to destroy the family unit, I take a very personal interest in that and I come for it. There's witches and warlocks I've encountered, and I sat on it and prayed on it and thought about it, and I said, it's not worth my time because these people, there's a lot of people who didn't even know what they were getting themselves into, and I pray for them. There's many more people who I've encountered in Hollywood, in the NBA, in the NFL. I've encountered many more people who accidentally are finding out what it means to sell their soul. They're finding out now, and I pray for them, but they're not worth it. They're not worth attacking or exposing. Majority of people who got into the witchcraft and the warlock world, they didn't even realize what they were getting into. They came in from a scarcity wound. They thought God forgot about them. They did. They thought God forgot about them, and they were easy and susceptible to signing over their soul. When we talk about Justin Bieber on this, I don't know Justin Bieber. I've never met Justin Bieber. All I know is you're not clocking it. And he clocked it. And I saw him go to church and come out as a Christian and talk about the demonic stuff that he went through because he was only, 11? How old was Justin Bieber when they put him out there on, he was on YouTube, right? Because it was the Coachella, Biebercella. He was 13. Again, I don't know, but I have the spirit, the sensitivity to know that man has been through some things. And he may have agreed to some things, but that's the power of Jesus. Okay, that's the power of Christ. But you and I, we are damned to hell when we are cowardly. Chris, pull me Revelations. What is it? Revelations 29:11. Is that the one? Who goes to hell? It's the cowards. And who? Wait. Who goes to hell? The cowardly, the unbelievers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and liars. But what's the first one in that list? The cowards. So when you don't rebuke the destiny swappers, the Leila Hormozi, who swapped so damn hard she got dimples in her cheeks. Swapped so damn hard she got the same freaking extensions I got in my hair. And this is all my hair, by the way. Just saying. She hasn't caught up. She clearly hasn't caught up to the new styles. But we collectively, when we don't rebuke demons, bad things happen not because of bad people. Bad things happen because good people do nothing about bad people doing their thing. And I don't spot a person and a couple, and I'm very, very keen. Like I said, I have spotted and clocked and worked with people who sold out and were like, oops. And honestly, come to me and said, Ginger, I sold my soul for a hell of a lot less than it was worth. I sold it for a hell of a lot less than it was worth. And I regret it. But what I clock with these two, oh, honey, you are not clocking that some of these people, they're on the team. They're on Team Demon. They have agreed they are in cahoots. This is their team. Their team is darkness. It's not a oopsie accidental Justin Bieber was 13. It's a hail Satan. It's a hard hail Satan. Alex and Leila Hormozi are a hard hail Satan signed over. And they're destiny swapping. They're destiny swapping with those of us who are honest, good, doing the best we can. No one's perfect. We're doing the best we can with what we got, trying to make our businesses succeed, working 16, 20 hours a day, trying to hire people, getting screwed over by people. And they come out, like I said, my beef is, again, these are not some random business coaches on the internet. This is not some, oh, I invested a little money with somebody and they screwed me over, it didn't work out. That's not what I'm doing here. This is the leader of the business world, online information space. Tell me where is the lie on that? Where is the lie that Alex and Leila Hormozi have crowned themselves king and queen of the online information space? He's the one. And again, the devil will do these things because the devil is so proud and thinks this is so great. The vanity and the pride. That's what got Satan kicked out of heaven. That's the greatest sin is pride, envy. And the envy of this woman who had a whole Adam's apple, a hook nose, and a big old broad chin and a deep old voice, gonna come out here and you gonna say, I'm looking like her, sweetie. No, she was so distorted in her mind. If she is a woman, why is a woman trying to be a man? Why is she out here trying to look like a dude, taking steroids? This person is so twisted and distorted in their self that they're trying to be first they're trying to be a man, and then now they're trying to be the most feminine woman. That's a destiny swapper. That's a witch. That's a real witch. We're not talking about lighting up a candle. We're talking about witchcraft. Root work. Coming in, looking at all of the business people. Like, you guys are not understanding. Let me give you let me back it up. I grew up with a mother who was spiritual. Okay? Spiritual. And always told me, you better always believe in God. And you better know that Jesus is the way and the truth. When you get to be of age, you go ahead and decide what church you want to be a part of. But I'm going to show you everything that's out here on this spiritual world. And she showed me everything from Santeria, Catholic magic, Protestant, Baptist, Pentecostal, speaking in the tongues, Buddhist, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, the whole 9 yards. I grew up with all of it. The spell books, the watching candles explode. I've seen it. We live in the age of social media. You think that when Alex Hormozi has a big screen with every one of your pictures because you think you're being a part of some Zoom call, there's root workers who are so hoodoo. Pull up the movie with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. There's a movie, Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. The Devil's Advocate. Sweetie, you think you're cute on that Zoom call. No, they're clocking your picture. They're clocking your gram. They're clocking your aura. They're clocking your essence. And they pulling up people who kill goats, chickens, bleed out animals. They used to do it on a small scale. You really think that they wouldn't do it to a whole group of collectives and steal your loosh? Where is the lie? This is truth. This is facts. And we will continue to investigate. If you guys want me to investigate if she's a woman or not, I will. But I'm less concerned with that than I am of her just being a whole destiny swapping witch, stealing, clocking all of our loosh off of a big old Zoom screen, clocking in on each of our pictures and our profiles and trying to look like a woman when she used to be a chick who wanted to look like a man. I'm not being mean. I'm a warrior for Christ. Don't get it twisted. There's a reason Justin Bieber's out here screaming in the streets about Jesus. There's a reason Kanye West is out in the streets screaming about Jesus. There's a reason that those of us who have seen behind the veil, those of us who had the courage and the bravery to come out here to Los Angeles, to come out to these big boy towns like New York City and Miami and London, there's a reason why some of us are like, hold up. Let me just raise up an alarm and alert and let the public know. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of any person. I'm not afraid of any person. My greatest fear, like I said, is to face my creator and go to heaven one day and God looks at me and goes, "You were a coward. I told you to speak out against this and you were scared of being not popular amongst who?" If you dare call yourself a Christian, now maybe you don't, and that's fine. Maybe you don't call yourself a Christian, and that's fine. But God forbid you do, and you use that as marketing, and you come into my comment section with some nonsense because you do not represent what it means to be a Christian. No, you're a coward. You're in it for popularity. You think that the Christian is cool. There's a cool group. When we are looking for mentorship, let's try not to be so deceived. I am a firm believer in mentorship. I'm a firm believer in experts. I am an expert. 17 years I've studied health. 17 years I could tell you guys some stories. When I had brain swelling, I have seen demons. I've seen angels. I've seen it all. When you're close to death, like I've been, you can't argue with me about whether or not this is real. This is very real. This is more, in my view, it's more real than this body. My spiritual experiences, my spirit body, to me, is more real than my physical body. I know that my spiritual body is forever. This is a temporary meat suit that I'm enjoying very much, that I have. You want to hear about my spiritual? Right now, there is a little angel that's circling me, and in my sleep, it talks to me that wants to be born through me. That's how spiritual and sensitive I am. There's a child that wants so desperately to come to earth and be born. And you clearly forgot that at some point in time, maybe not that long ago, you were begging to be born too. You were begging to be alive. You were begging for this opportunity to be alive. And you don't see how special it is. You don't see how special your life is. And destiny swappers do, and they are trying to steal that. They are trying to steal that. And they're stealing from the young men. They're stealing these men opportunity to birth children, these girls opportunity to birth children. Like I said, irregardless if she's a man, why is there a promotion of male hormones for bodybuilding competitions? Clock it, clip it. Why is it that the bodybuilding community, wait, this is a download. Why is it that the bodybuilding community wants women to make their body look like men? That's weird. That's weird. And I'm not in that world, but it's weird. I get trying to look hot. I love looking hot. Like I said, I love this meat suit, but what is that? Who's behind all that? Again, every time we want to go down to do something, we need to start tracking the money back. Like, where is the money coming from? Who's the mental brainchild behind this stuff? And I'm telling you right now, and I'm doing more research, and I appreciate those of you reaching out to me. When Alex Hormozi goes to Vanderbilt, what is the program that he's in at Vanderbilt that as soon as he gets out in 3 years, by the way, he's working in Washington, D.C. for a communications company? Clock it, clip it. How come Alex Hormozi is at the government right out of Vanderbilt, which we know does extensive work with government contracting, just like the Mormons do the CIA? They come out of the church and they go into the CIA because they speak multiple languages. And then they come into these different things like BlackRock. And he's out here talking about, oh, I just slept on the floor of a gym for 3 years and I just saved every dollar and I ate 500 Chipotles in 1 year. Bro, don't ever go back to Chipotle. That's a freaking devil worshiping place too. Factory farm. Like a feedlot. It's like when I go into Chipotle, which is literally one time in the last many years, you go into the Chipotle and you literally are walked through like a freaking cattle. Literally. You come in, moo, there's like metal grates and everything, and you go through the Chipotle and it's glass and metal, and you're like scooped this slop. Like I said, I was deceived, but again, this is not some middle of the road person. This is the market leader for the information space. And if we're talking about why I'm doing this, like I said, number one, I am an assignment from God, and I have always been, use me, Lord, use me, Lord. And that's why I do this. And number two, because part of what the Lord wants to use me for is to remind you that you do need to hire mentors. You do need to hire coaches. The confundus charm that this freaking devil warlock did on us was to confuse the consumer. And the consumer is so confused with free guides and downloadable PDFs and free courses, because that's what the market leader, Alex Hormozi and Leila Hormozi, told us to do, to make free shit, to confuse our consumer. Confundus. This is ancient Latin text, people. And on the provider side, all of my provider friends, this is not isolated. Majority of my provider friends are literally on the verge of bankruptcy, guys, because they gave away everything for free. Their consumer doesn't know what to do with it. They're not making changes. So not only are they confusing the consumer is not making the appropriate changes, like getting healthy, getting closer to God, being a better parent, being a better owner, being a better business owner. You can't both absorb content and also deliver and do the content. You can't learn detox and then do it. You spend half the time learning the content, and you're too tired. By the time you consume everything, you're too tired to take action. So you lose as the consumer. You lose on free. And the provider loses because they've now given up all this free information, put thousands of dollars into this product that nobody's buying. This is not a game. This is livelihoods. This is, remember, family. This is about your family. This is about your future children. They need a home. They need quality food. They're not going to live off of good vibrations and believing in Jesus and believing. No, they need to be taken care of. And you need to say, hey, it costs this much to work with me because it costs this much to produce the product and for me to have gone to school and have the education and X, Y, Z. And this anger and frustration that has been boiling up in the consumer, where did that all come from? It came from the Hormozi. The free. Well, I should get it for free. Why should I pay you? Because clearly, if you were going to do it on your own for free, you would have done it. But you're not. So that's my bit on that tonight. We will continue this investigation series into the Hormozi. And also, I want to make more videos too, just about business and family. Like, ultimately, the small business feeds the family. What do I mean by a small business? A small business does $2 to $5 million a year, and you have 5 to 12 employees, and you're able to very well take care of your family, your wife, and we can make that happen. I want more people to be making that kind of wealth for themselves so they don't have to go and sell their soul. Of course, I'll continue to talk about detoxification and health, but I'm passionate. Health is wealth. Invest wisely. Stay alert. Stay alert. Like I said, not a lot of people, in my view, after fasting and prayer, not a lot of people are worth the exposing. Like it's not worth it, and I like begged on God about some people who screwed me over. I lost money on blah, blah, blah. And like I'm saying, majority of people, I don't believe that they don't even realize what they're giving away. Majority of the people who you think, oh, the celebrities and they sold their soul, they don't even realize what they did. Like, frankly, majority of them, they just allow for entities to come in and run their vessel. That's majority of celebrities. You ever see Katy Perry's eyes like freaking out? And they're like, Katy Perry sold her soul. She most likely just gave up her being because these beings can never be human. They can never come into a human body, or they'll never get their own body. And so they go into the bodies of others. And a lot of these people who signed over to that, that's allegedly, by the way, allegedly on everything, but allegedly she did that. And that's like the lowest form. Like that's a lame way to sell your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like low level, like, damn girl, you sold your soul and now they just take you over. The more sophisticated ways, like I'm saying, the more sophisticated ways are much more nefarious and much darker. We're talking witches, warlocks, and people who know how to manipulate groups. True. Okay. So that's that one. Continue to watch. I'm probably going to post like twice a week. I got to hire an editor. I've been trying to interview an editor while also enrolling people into my detox process. I'm really loving, I've kind of figured out who I'm able to help best, which is really exciting. There is a specific niche of people that I am able to serve in a more powerful way. And that's tech executives, tech sales executives, small business entrepreneurs, higher level, higher wealth people. I'm only able to help them, number one, because they want the personalized, specialized approach to their concerns, their HSV, their HPV, their gut issues, their weight issues, their peptides. That's who I serve. I serve high-level women and men who are executives, who have at least $5,000 to invest, at least. I cannot serve anyone under that. If you're a researcher, you want free, go to YouTube, but I'm just telling you, you're not my ideal client. You're not in a financial position for me to serve. I'm right now working one-on-one very closely with high-level people, and they're getting the results. They have the means. So that's where I'm at in my business. And again, I love doing these investigations. I love doing this. And if you want to blame anyone for why we can only serve the top of the pile, you can blame the Hormozi. You can blame the Hormozi. Don't blame me. Don't be mad at me. Don't be angry at me. You're just going to have to own where we are and do the best you can with what you got, and do the best you can to take care of yourself and your family. Create what you need to create. Serve who you need to serve. But this is who I serve. And remember, your health is your wealth. Invest wisely.